Hey guys! So for this video I wanted to talk about my other main category of fear foods, which were foods that would trigger me to binge. But for me, the things that would mainly trigger me to overeat or binge were pretty much all carbs. I love carbs. I still love carbs, and a lot of recovery has been kind of reestablishing a healthy relationship with food in general, but especially with carbs. And I think it's hard because carbs are there is actual chemistry in your brain. You can actually be addicted to carbs. And I might still be a little bit. But so I'll talk about a few of the foods that would usually trigger me or that I would try to avoid, and then how I actually ended up overcoming those fears, and foods that helped me kind of bridge back from being scared of these foods to having a healthy relationship with these foods again. So the first food is just plain old bread. Specifically, I loved this brand of bread called Vermont Bread Company in soft whole wheat. And I remember I would go through loaves of those at least every 2 or 3 days. And I would do that even while I was restricting my calories because I would eat so little else. It was really delicious. It's very soft. I would also have a weird, as I get to the end of a loaf, I would feel like I just want to finish this loaf, have it out of my sight, and then start doing better. So I would always end up eating towards the end a little bit more than I even wanted. One thing that really helped was this brand I've eaten a good quarter of this loaf. It's from the brand Food for Life. Okay, I'll show you this side because it's easier to read, but this is the 7 sprouted grains bread. They have several different varieties of sprouted bread, including, I think, they're named after Bible verses because sprouting grains, I think, is a practice that they used in biblical times. But they have a version called Ezekiel and a version called Genesis, but this is the one that I found that was the tastiest. It's got a mix of, let's see here. So it's got wheat, barley, rye, oats, millet, corn, and brown rice. And it's really delicious. It's pretty dry and grainy. It's got a lot of texture to it, and so it's pretty impossible to binge on this because your jaw just gets tired. It is chewy, but it's also really filling and hearty and nutty and delicious, and especially if you toast it, it's amazing, and those flavors just open up. Toast it and put some butter on it, or some avocado, or a little bit of peanut butter, or hummus. Another one is delicious. You can have 1 or 2 slices of this and feel satisfied and not want more, and that was something that I could never do with normal bread. And then once I got used to eating this bread and eating it in normal amounts and with normal portions, then I started feeling more comfortable with other breads as well. But that took a long time, so this really helped a lot. And I consider myself recovered, but I still buy this because it's delicious. Second fear food for me was ramen. And it's just so delicious, and it's got all that salt and all that umami flavor. And I actually never had experiences of binging on ramen because I thought it was so addictive. I just never had the guts to buy it. But I did have the experience of being at someone else's house, and we would make ramen late at night, and I would eat the whole thing and wake up in the morning and think, why the hell did I do that? That was I don't know how many calories it is anymore, but I knew at the time. So then I found these. I don't remember how I found these, but these are the Koyo ramen made with organic wheat, organic heirloom wheat, whatever that is. It comes in different flavors. These are really hit or miss. So this Asian vegetable flavor is delicious. And then they have some really weird ones like lemongrass ginger and seaweed that are just weird. They just taste too different for me than what I expect ramen to taste like. But these are amazing. They come in very, very reasonable portions. It doesn't have a ton of salt compared to a Nongshim ramen block, and it's just so good. It makes a fair amount of soup. You can So you'll have all that soup without too much salt, feel pretty full, and then you have these noodles that are really chewy and delicious. And what I like to do also, you can put all kinds of vegetables in there. I will just put like frozen vegetables, like frozen broccoli even. And you can put, I drop an egg in there a lot for like some protein to kind of give it more balance. Or I put kimchi in there also. Really, really good. But yeah, these are so delicious. I love them. They feel like such guilty pleasure, and they're not really guilty. Another fear food for me that is kind of actually harkening way back was cereal. I loved cereal, and like not just for breakfast, I would eat it all day long. In college, you know how there's always like cereal in the like dining halls. I would eat cereal with every meal, and it was like a joke amongst my friends. I didn't actually have really disordered eating at that point. I was just weird and I liked cereal a lot. But as I kind of progressed into more disordered eating, cereal became definitely a problem. I especially loved Cheerios and just like the plain Cheerios, like no sweetener. I would put a little bit of like soy milk in it, and soy milk is usually sweetened, so that would just give it just a touch of sweetness, and I just loved it, and I liked letting it get like fairly soggy. I'm like so weird. Anyway, but once Cheerios like get soggy, they diminish in volume like so much. You feel like you're getting so little, and so I again felt like I wanted to avoid eating it because I felt like I wouldn't ever feel full. I would just be wasting those calories. I kind of was like in this phase where I was telling myself like not to have cereal in the house anymore, but I still missed it. And I found this cereal called Weetabix. So I don't have any of this in the house either. If any of you are from the UK, you will probably like laugh out loud at me because it's like such a staple there and it's everywhere. But I had never seen this kind of cereal before. For those of you who haven't had it, it comes in these like pressed cakes of like wheat flakes, and you put milk in it. Usually, like I like to put hot milk in it, and it just like falls apart into like almost like a porridgey, like oatmeal-y texture, and it's just really soft and hot and warm, and it's just so good. And unlike Cheerios that like when you put liquid in them, they like shrink. The Weetabix, I feel like it kind of expands and soaks up all the liquid, and you feel like you're actually getting more. So you can have like 2 of those little pressed cakes, which is a serving, with some milk, and feel like you're having like a good hearty bowl of stuff. So that was like so delicious, and it made me feel like, okay, I can still have cereal. I'm not like, I don't have to deprive myself. And then this is the final one. Just because if you've noticed so far, I guess Cheerios are oats, but pretty much all of my favorite foods for now, since up to this point, have been wheat, because wheat is really addictive and I really love it. But I also felt like it was helpful for me to try to like step away from wheat a little bit and try to find alternatives to wheat. And I found these fairly recently, actually. And I found these at Whole Foods. These are corn tortillas. They're from the brand Maria and Ricardo. And they actually, if you look at the ingredient list in them, they do have wheat gluten in them, which makes sense because they have that like glutinous, chewy texture, which is so awesome. But still, it has like the main ingredient in it is corn. So I feel like it's still kind of helping me just stop being so addicted to the flavor and texture of wheat. And these are so good. You can like, I always warm these up in the microwave because they are worlds better when they're warmed up. And I like to just put a little bit of like refried beans, some avocado, some shredded cheese, some salsa, and just like roll it up and eat it. It's delicious. And there's so many possibilities too. Like you can make fish tacos with these. You can do chicken. You can just all kinds of things. They're so delicious. That's about it. I feel like this video is already getting pretty long, but I definitely have more like favorite products and things that have helped me stop being so afraid of overeating. But I also wanted to add just that the main thing that helped me with not overeating was just understanding my body, and that if I get hungry enough, anything can become a binge food. Like there were times that I was just so hungry that the only thing I had in the house was like a box of granola bars, and I would just be like, I can't sleep because I'm too hungry. I need to eat something. And I would end up eating like 4 or 5 of those. So anything can be a binge food. Your body will keep crying out until you give it enough food. And that's not a failure on your part. That's not a lack of willpower. You need to listen to it. So any of these foods that you're afraid of binging on become so much less scary when you're just not starving. You have to kind of trust that once you're not so hungry, your brain will know when enough is enough and when to stop. That's all for me. I hope that was helpful for anybody, or at least just kind of entertaining. Do let me know if there's anything, if you relate to any of this, if you have comments, if you disagree with any of this. I would love to hear. And thanks for watching. Bye.